welcome to our webcast with Cooper Levenson attorneys Alexandra Rigdon and Cynthia Grob from Family Law Group. Today we have Amy Houck Elco, a fellow Cooper Levenson lawyer, joining us from the Education Law Group. Amy, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for inviting me to your show today.
Of course. Today, Lexi and Cynthia will be asking Amy a few questions. So, Lexi, I'll throw it over to you.
All right, Amy, it's good to see you. We miss everybody. I always say that in all of these, but you know, it reminds me how much we miss people by being able to actually see their faces. So special needs families are probably facing unprecedented challenges during this coronavirus. And so, you know, Cynthia and I both have clients that have children with special needs. And so I know that those parents want to know what type of services are schools providing right now for special needs children who cannot be there in person?
That's a great question. And first of all, I want to say thank you again. It's great to actually see everybody, see faces. And what you raised is an important issue that is affecting all of the special education families in the state of New Jersey. So when schools originally closed, they did not, by law, allow services, what we call related services, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, to be given virtually. It was not allowed under the law. On April 1st, the State Board of Education approved temporary regulations that allowed those services to be given remotely. So school districts started April 1st giving those services remotely to students. Now, what does that look like? It looks different depending on, one, the severity of the disability for the student. It looks different depending on which district you attend. In most cases, that is a virtual service, one-on-one or in a group, whatever the IEP calls for the student. So it could be a speech teacher giving speech services to a kid or to a group of kids based on the IEP. The same thing with physical therapy, the same thing with occupational therapy, or counseling is another big piece, because as you know, right now, some kids just truly don't understand why they can't go to school. And most kids are just simply saying, I want to see my teachers, I want to see my friends, I want to be back in school. So counseling is also a big piece now that schools can do virtually.
So just to follow up, actually, because what you said, I'm curious, is there any option for in-person services, or physical therapy, occupational, whatever it is, has to be done virtually?
So right now, under the executive order, schools are closed to students. And it's very clear they're closed to students until Governor Murphy allows us or loosens those restrictions. They are closed. Now, I have heard that there are cases maybe in different districts where they are trying to allow kids in to do in-person evaluations. But right now, the teachers union, the NJEA, or other organizations have fired off what are called cease and desist orders, saying, you know, right now under the governor's orders, we are not even allowed to have kids in for that. So that's going to be handled, I think, through the court process. But right now, under the executive order, kids are not allowed in schools.
All right, and I have another follow-up question. So different districts have school ending on certain dates in June. Do services continue through the summer because they're virtual and the schools are closed during the summer, or will those virtual services that came up and running in April terminate at the conclusion of the school year?
So that's a great question, and there's a few pieces to that answer. The first one is that students that are special ed have the opportunity to have what's called an extended school year program. And typically, extended school year is if a student is going to regress over the summer and they need those special education services to keep those skills that they built throughout the school year. So when they start in September, they're starting on basically the same place where they would have been, and that's why they receive those services. So school districts right now are in the process of going through which students qualify for extended school year services and making sure that parents are participating. One of the things that I'm seeing is that some parents just simply don't want to participate virtually. They want to be in person. Well, right now, school districts' hands are tied because we have not gotten any guidance saying that we can open for summer services. So we have to plan, we have to organize, make sure things are in place to give these students the services they need. So most districts are going with a virtual plan Some are saying, well, we'll try in person if it allows, and that would be in the
Super real. We're just gonna keep going.
and that would be in the in July or August, depending on if students are allowed back in school in some fashion. But
Okay.
the other piece is, and I think it's important to note, part of the law says just because you're doing virtual services, you still have to look at, does a student need what's called compensatory services for the time they missed? So sometimes virtual can't replace that in-person service. So when kids are back in school, districts will look to see, do they need to make up time with those students for those services? I know some districts are saying, well, we missed March, so we'll allow extra time in June. I think every district is taking that on a one-to-one basis, because the whole thing with special ed is that it has to be individualized for the child.
Okay, and that leads me to our follow-up question for you, which is, how do parents continue to participate in their child's special education services, and what does that look like right now?
Especially for parents that are not under the same roof, they're co-parenting with an ex. How do they manage that?
So another great question. So districts are managing it one of two ways. They're doing either a virtual meeting, sort of like we're doing right now, or they do a telephone call-in meeting. But in both cases, it's really important that the parents who are able to participate legally are participating. And that could mean that both parents receive the link for the Zoom or the Go Meet or the WebEx, however the district is using a virtual platform to meet, or the phone number. And that meeting takes place virtually, and both parents, if they have the opportunity, should be able to participate. I was actually on an IEP meeting the other day, and we had two parents, again, not under the same roof, and they were both on, because at the end of the day, the interest is about the child. And parents, we like to tell them, please don't bring your issues into the school, that we want to make sure that we are doing what's best for the children.
Hi, Amy.
Hi. We're gonna, we had an unexpected guest. So to wrap up, Amy, thank you so much. We're gonna end on a fun question that Lisa's gonna give us.
Yes, so fun question. What beauty service are you most looking forward to coming back?
Amy, why don't you go first?
I'm looking to go back to my hair salon. I can't wait. My hair is getting longer, and I am ready to go back. So I'm counting down the days and hoping that I've already missed 2 appointments. So hopefully my June 13th appointment will be good, and I'll be able to go if the governor allows it.
It'll come to a surprise to many. I am not a real blonde. I have roots. So I cannot wait to get my hair done again. I don't like what's growing in here. It's been months.
And I feel the same way. I have those roots, but I will say, while I can't wait to see my hairdresser again, the person I think I need most in my life is my massage therapist. So I have it's a split decision for me on where I'll go first, but I can't wait for it to occur. Lisa, how about you?
I agree with the hair, not only because of my roots, but mostly.
She wants to join us so badly, right?
But mostly because I want to get out of the house for a little bit, just get out of the house for a couple of hours and relax. That's also part of the experience that I enjoy. Well, thank you, Amy, for joining us through all these hiccups too. Just for balls, we are always live and we keep it real. So
we're still perfecting this, but yep. There's, like I said, no blooper reel. It's all going. Flaws and all.
It is what it is, and you get what you get. So thank you for answering the question.
You get what you pay for, guys.
And I know that a lot of these questions are going to really help some families. So thank you so much.
So too.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.